Welcome back, plant friends. So in today's video, I'm going to show you guys how to propagate. So today I'm going to be propagating a marble pothos, and I'm also going to propagate my lemon lime maranta. The propagation steps that I show you here can be done for a lot of different varieties of plants. For example, I have a Rhaphidophora tetrasperma here. And then I also propagated a Monstera adansonii right here. So these guys, I made these propagations yesterday and they're already in their water propagation. But I'm gonna go ahead and walk you guys through the basics of water propagating plants. It is gonna vary a little bit differently for each plant, but pretty much you just gotta find the node on every single plant and just propagate it from there. So I am going to start off with the marble pothos. So this propagation technique that I'm gonna show you is gonna be similar for every single type of pothos, whether it's a golden pothos, just a regular variety of green pothos, marble pothos, or enjoy pothos. So first things first is you need a plant and then you need a pair of scissors or shears. So you really want to disinfect your scissors or shears just because you don't want your plant to get infected. So I actually already cleaned up my shears, and also you want a little cute bottle to water propagate it. So these are actually salt shakers from the dollar store. They come in a pack of 2, and these are perfect for water propagations because they're kind of like wide at the bottom but kind of more narrow at the neck, so it really holds the propagation together. And then I just found these like other little trinkets at the dollar store. So I'm going to show you guys how I go ahead and water propagate this pothos. Okay, so every single pothos, once it starts to trail, is gonna have these nodes. And I hope the camera is showing it well. Yep, there you go. You see that little bump right there? So that is a node. That is what we want to preserve during the cutting. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut this up close so you guys can see. Okay, so again, there's a node right there, that little bulge by my thumb, and then there's another node right here. There's another bulge right there and another bulge right there. So it just depends how you want to make your cutting, but I'm going to cut this into 3. Okay, so I'm going to grab my disinfected shears. There's a bulge right here, so I want to make sure I preserve that node, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and make that cut right there. Bam. So as you can see, the node is preserved, and I left a little room after the node. It's probably like about ½ an inch after the node. I just personally like to do that. I don't like to cut too close to the node. I don't know, maybe it's just like I'm giving it bad juju if I cut too close or something, but yeah, I prefer to leave a little bit of room. So as you can see, the node is there. So now I'm gonna go ahead and make these other cuts. Again, I'm gonna bring you up close. Sorry, I'm like trying to concentrate on the camera, make sure I don't cut off any of these nodes by accident. So there's another cut. There's another node right here, another cut, and another node right there. So I'm gonna make another cut right there. All right, guys. So that is how you propagate your pothos. So now go ahead and look at your pothos plants, find the little nodes, and try to make those little propagations. So now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go ahead and gather up my little propagations, and I'm gonna stick them in water. So pothos propagations actually propagate really fast. This will probably take you about like 2 weeks for the roots to grow. Once you move them to soil, you want the roots to be about 1 to 2 inches long. in the water before you move them to soil. And then when you move them to soil, make sure that the soil stays moist for about 3 to 4 weeks, because you are taking the plant from a water environment to a much drier environment such as soil. I did make a video about how I move water propagations to soil, so I'll make sure to go ahead and link that in the description, just so when you guys get to that step, you'll know what to do. So there are my water propagations, and I make sure that my nodes are submerged in water, not my foliage. You don't want the foliage to be submerged in the water because it can rot. So just make sure that the nodes are in there. And I love water propagations, you guys, because I'm kind of nosy and I like to see the roots grow, and it gives me like reassurance that the plant is propagating and it is growing roots, versus if I were to do a soil propagation right away, I don't know if the roots are growing, I'm not sure if the plant is doing well, how long the roots are. So that's why I like to water propagate first. That way I can see the roots physically, and then once they're about 1 to 2 inches long, I'll go ahead and put it into soil. So that is my marble pothos propagation. So pretty much the same thing if you want to propagate a Rhaphidophora tetrasperma, also known as the mini monstera. It is the same concept, you guys. So these guys have nodes too, and they're actually a little bit bigger than the pothos. As you can see, I had already made this propagation. That node was already sticking out from the mother plant, so I just cut right below the node. I left a little bit, like a ½ an inch below the node, and I stuck it in water. So that's what I did for these Rhaphidophora tetraspermas. I just did this yesterday, so I am still waiting for them, for the roots to get a little longer and mature a little bit before I stick them into soil. And then I'm gonna also show you my monstera. So monstera varieties, pretty much the same concept, you guys. These guys also have nodes, and they're pretty apparent on monsteras and Rhaphidophoras. So again, I found the nodes and I cut right below, leaving about ½ an inch underneath, and stuck it in water. So that's that. That's my monstera and my Rhaphidophora cutting. So now I want to show you guys how I propagate a Maranta plant, because Marantas, their nodes aren't as apparent as most plants. You know, like every plant is gonna vary a little bit. So I just need to decide where I'm gonna cut it. Oh, by the way, guys, this is my freaking gorgeous, huge lemon lime Maranta. Look at how gorgeous this plant is. Like, this has got to be one of my favorite plants. I know I say that about every plant, but they're all like so beautiful to me. So every plant is like my favorite. But yeah, it's gorgeous. It's very lemon lime and bright, and honestly, it's blooming right now too. I don't know if you can see that right there, but yep, it's very, very happy where it's at right now. Okay guys, so to do the lemon lime, a Maranta cutting, they aren't necessarily more difficult to propagate. I actually have found that they're very easy to propagate. You just need to make sure that you cut in the right place, because the nodes here aren't very apparent. So listen very closely, and then I'm gonna go ahead and scooch you up a little bit. All right, so you see where right here, these 3 leaves come together and there's kind of like a bump here, and it's really thick right there, and then it gets thin right here. This right here is the node. So you wanna make sure you preserve that. I would cut about ½ an inch where it gets thin again. So these 3 leaves come together, it gets really thick right here and bumpy, and it gets skinny again, right? So you want to cut about ½ an inch below that bumpy thick part right here. Let me go ahead and get you guys close up a little bit more. So that thick bumpy part right there, that's a node, that's what we want to preserve. We're going to make the cutting right there. All right guys, so let me go ahead and get you up a little closer. I'm going to take my scissors, and then again, the bump is right here, and I'm going to go ahead and cut right there. And that is my first cutting of my lemon lime Maranta, you guys. I have not propagated this bad boy yet, but I'm excited to do it because, you guys, making propagations is really good because it gives you insurance for a plant, right? You never know if your plant's gonna get sick, if it's gonna catch a pest, if it's gonna make it through winter. So it's really good to just make a little bit of propagations just in case something happens. Knock on wood, nothing happens to this gorgeous plant, but you never know. So it's always good to have insurance. And come on, you guys, having a bunch of these cute little propagations around your house is like cute decor too. And it's kind of having like a little vase of flowers, but it's a vase of living cuttings that are eventually going to become a whole new plant. Propagations are also good like gifts too, like if you want to give them to friends. So I'm propagating this guy for my personal collection, but I will go ahead and also put this up on my Etsy shop. I'm gonna go ahead and link it below. Hopefully it doesn't sell out by the time you guys see this video. But yes, I have found that lemon lime Marantas are a little bit difficult to find right now. But yeah, that is my first propagation, and you guys, that is my propagation video. Feel free to comment below any tips or tricks on propagations, or if you guys have any questions. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. It's a free way to help me out, you guys, and that way you never miss a plant tip with Jess. I'll see you guys later. Bye.